Good morning. Welcome to the newsletter summary for Friday, March 3rd. Last week we talked about the importance of recognizing the difference between urban communities and rural communities when it comes to intimate partner violence. And some of the suggestions and recommendations that came out of an inquest into a triple femicide in Eastern Ontario. This week's episode and the start of this newsletter is about the episode that kind of relates to that. It is about rural crime prevention. So not just law enforcement, but all of the social service agencies that, all of the factors that contribute to crime. Bringing in all of those parties and then creating a community safety plan. And what that looks like, I talked to Jean Bota from the Alberta Community Crime Prevention Association. That organization partnered with a national organization to do a couple of pilot projects in specifically rural communities, and specifically rural communities close to Indigenous communities, and how they could use a community approach and a unique approach for each community. So Jean talks about that. It's a really interesting episode, I believe. All of them are, of course, I think so, but I mean, I learned a lot. Also in this newsletter episode, it is International Women's Month. So I highlight a previous episode that I did with Meeta Gandhi. She is with the community of East Grillimbury, Ontario, and they have one of the fastest growing rural communities or communities outside of an urban center. And she talks about actually her developing diversity, equity, and inclusion into their plan. I talk about a couple of future topics. On Family Day this year, I spoke with 4 Ontario councillors, all female, all first-time councillors, and they talked about their first 100 days in office. Some of the challenges, some of the issues, some of the barriers that they faced when they first started thinking about running, and then running, some of the things that they encountered at the door when they were campaigning. And one of the councillors in particular created boundaries, rules of conduct in communicating with her, and many other councillors across Canada actually have adopted her rules of conduct, and I've included them in the newsletter. There's also a new campaign called Women of Ontario Say No. It is about a bill going to the Ontario legislature, Bill 5, and it amends the Municipal Act as well as the City of Toronto Act. It will permit municipalities to direct the Integrity Commissioner to apply to the court to basically kick a member out for failing to comply with the municipality's workplace violence and harassment policies. So they have a woman who is a former assistant to an Ottawa City Councillor who was harassed, traumatized, and I have that in the newsletter, a link to that on Instagram. Also, because it's Women's Month, we will finally get to hear from the Perro Center for Women's Enterprise's business advisor, Gitanjali Agarwal. I wanted to save that for International Women's Month because their services are specifically for rural women entrepreneurs or women entrepreneurs in Ontario. Specifically, it started in the north, and now they've branched out throughout the province. And that's it for this week. I have been doing a lot of interviews in the background. I have a lot of ones that I've already completed, so I'm super excited about bringing those to you. And it's been a great week, and I hope it has been for you too. Until next time, take care of yourself and take care of each other.